Hi folks. So can I turn this round? I don't know if I can or not anymore. Anyway, I hope you see me. My name's Steve Stuart. I am a candidate for Warwickshire County Council in the seat of Coleshill, North and Water Orton, and I'm presently stood outside of the council house in Atherstone for North Warwickshire Borough Council, where I am a borough councillor for Water Orton. And we've just had the civic year runs from May to April. Yeah, that's the year. Like you have your financial year and you have the real year and you have your school year or whatever. This is the civic year. And the civic year runs from May to April. And so I've just had my last committee meeting of the civic year, and that was the Health and Wellbeing Board. And just to fill you with some of the things that we dealt with there is that there were two main presentations, one of which was in relation to frailty. And we had representations from the Apollo Primary Care Network, part of which is the doctor's surgery in Coleshill, and they talked about the Frailty Hub. And we had the Frailty Hub, or we had a preliminary Frailty event held by the parish council, which was involved with, which came out of Spud Club within Water Orton, as well attended, and it was really, really interesting. We had some good feedback, and a lot of the points that I made to them around engagement and difficulties with engaging with individuals and bringing things through and how to do that were taken on board and taken away, and we're going to have further meetings in relation to how do we access services to keep people living independently and well, and doing so I'm not going to use the word burden on the NHS, but with less need, better lives with living independently for as long as possible. The other issue was in relation to schools attendance, and again, with my role as chair of governance at Water Orton Primary, it was interesting. I was able to bring forward details of how different schools deal with different attendance in different ways, looking at the newsletters from our other local schools within Coleshill North and Water Orton constituency, namely Curdworth and High Meadow, how they treat the matters of attendance differently via their newsletters, how they've got different aspects there. One aspect that I asked for some information in as well was how do levels of staff absence appear in these schools where there is attendance issues in relation to pupils? Is there a culture around it? I also found it was very interesting to see how different schools within the catchment area of Coleshill North and Water Orton treat attendance in relation to should a pupil be attending if they've got the sniffle or whatever. And they vary wildly in terms of the advice that I saw given those newsletters. So it'd be really, really interesting to work more closely with our schools and try and find out what we can do to help improve school attendance and staff attendance and things like that. The reason why I'm raising these points today is that that completes my 100% attendance record at civic meetings within the year 24-25. This is where work's done. This is where things that actually make differences. This is where connections are made. We're going to have workshops that have come out here today that are within Water Orton, and there are other people around that table, and there's not going to be any work done within their wards. You have to ask, is that how do you improve services? How do you maintain that locality? How do you get the people who you represent to the front of these queues? And that's done in there. That's done in these meetings. And you have to ask, is that who is going to attend and who is going to add value to that? And those are questions that you're going to ask. As an independent, I am able to ask any question at any time in any way without risking contradicting any kind of national policy or damaging our party's brand or going against the party line on policies here, or in actual fact some parties that don't have policies in relation to school attendance and reducing risk of frailty and reducing the risk of falls and reducing the burden on the NHS. So I'm not saying that I'm going to be the best at that, but if I wasn't, I wouldn't be standing. So again, when you're making a decision on where to vote on May the 1st, on this Thursday, do take time to consider what is going to be the impact of your decision on local services to you, to your family, to your relatives, to your friends, to your neighbours, to your environment. Who is going to make sure that the residents of Coleshill North, Water Orton, Curdworth, Wishaw, Middleton, Gilson, all of these outlying villages, and apologies if I've missed any, I will come and see you, and who is going to represent them and get those services delivered to them. Because even in these things here today, is that out of the 5 places that were being within North Warwickshire, well, not within North Warwickshire, but within Warwickshire, Northern Warwickshire, shall we say, that were part of this PCN, 3 were in Nuneaton, you know. So that's a long way away for us, realistically. So how do we make sure that services stay local? Who's going to campaign for us? Who's going to advocate for us when we're down in Warwick? And I think I'm that man. If you agree, if you would honour me with your vote, please feel free to consider voting for me, Steve Stuart, Independent, on May the 1st. And hopefully I'll look forward to speaking to you soon as your county councillor. Many thanks.